I'm Jodi Shaw, and I am married to my husband Lucas, and we're about to have our third baby, which is my miracle story, which is why I'm thankful this year. When I was young, the only thing I ever wanted to be was a mom. And so I had decided early on, even for my career, I was going to be a teacher because it lined up good with a mother's schedule to always be with her kids. So after being married and trying to have some children, I was shocked and devastated when the doctors told me most likely we wouldn't be able to have children naturally, and we automatically had to start the most intense fertility intervention that there is, which is IVF. So we started, and we were feeling hopeful that it would work, and we did it twice. Both of them didn't work, and I was pretty devastated. The third time we tried, I ended up getting pregnant and had an ectopic pregnancy, which is an early loss for us. At that time, I was so devastated, and I saw all of my friends getting pregnant effortlessly, having their first, second, and third children. And I really just felt forgotten by God. And I felt like that, this God that I loved and that I devoted my life to and thought placed this passion in me to be a mom. And he wasn't fulfilling that passion. So I was really angry. So my fourth IVF was finally successful, which brought me my son Bradley, who's now 5, which was a miracle. And he brought me through that in his timing. Looking back, I see how it was perfect. When he was 1, I decided it might take a long time to have another child. We'd have to do it again and go through the process. So we started, and we got pregnant right away through IVF with my daughter Lexi, who's now almost 3. And after she was about 1, I always had it in my head that we would be a family of 5. And so we went again to use our last couple of embryos to see if we could have our third child. And neither of those embryos worked, and I ended up having early miscarriages. I gave it up to God and said his timing is perfect, and I trust that he could do it with or without doctors. And so about a year later, I took a pregnancy test, and I was naturally pregnant without any fertility with my little girl, Haley. People tell you all the time, like, oh, just let it go and let God take over. And that's really hard to do when it's something that you feel like was God given to you, like my passion to be a mom. And I just remember like not wanting to go on with life if I couldn't be a mom. So I remember praying that if God wasn't going to let me be a mom, that he could just, I could stop wanting it and just he could give me the ability to have joy in my life without it. And I think ultimately that was the defining moment, that, I was willing to trust him and ask for joy even without this thing that I wanted so badly. When I was going through what I always call a crisis of faith before Bradley was born, where I was really just wrestling with God and trying to figure out why he would, put me through this process of trying to fulfill this passion. I wrote in my journal, Lord, please bless me with my Lexi, my Bradley. And then in parentheses, I put, and Haley, because at the time I didn't want to seem selfish and ask for 3 kids when I could not even have 1. But the best part is looking back at that, I have my Bradley, I have my Lexi, and the parentheses to me is really cool that it was my bonus grand finale baby who was conceived miraculously by him. And that's why I'm thankful.